So guys, it's the 20th of April. It's a pretty nice day actually, quite sunny. I'm just looking down at these window trough things here, and you look at the difference between this lot of mint here and that one. I mean, it's quite telling, is it not? So I think what I need to do is empty this one out, get rid of it basically. Take some cuttings of this one, because I mean this is, you know, it's 18 inches of growth already, and oh, the smell's amazing. So I need to take some cuttings of that. What I'm going to do is empty this out on a tap. I'll gather all the roots of the mint and put them in the municipal compost bin. I don't want to just chuck the whole thing in the compost bin, because as you probably know, mint's a perennial. And it's very much like bindweed. You only need to snap a little piece of root off and you get a new plant. So if I was to put that in my compost and then spread it on the beds, you know, it'd be infested with mint. Alright guys, I've got it tipped out onto a tarp here, as you can see. And you see what I mean by it's very much like couch grass in terms of how the root runs. Sort of creeping root stem. There's an old piece there, you see the dark colour, but I'm quite concerned that even a bit like that, you know, could start a new plant. So I think to err on the side of caution, I think what I'm going to do is tip the whole lot into the municipal compost bin, and those guys can recycle it, make good, so it won't go to waste. I'm pretty sure the heat will kill off those stems, and I'll just start again, because I'm emptying my carrot tank, so I can use a whole bunch of compost out of there, and you know, everything. So that I think will be a better job. So that's what I'm going to do. 25th of April guys, another little catch up. Look at that sky. Gorgeous. We've been having some pretty good weather, and I don't know if you can make that out, but I've actually been watering the beds. It's been pretty dry, and we've just had a couple of days away in the van actually, which I need to show you. I'll do that as a separate video, but even just a couple of days away, I could tell the difference. You know, these onions have definitely grown, as has the, well, everything, but you know when you go away for a few days you can notice. And these beets, I think they're just really liking the hotter temperatures that we would normally have at this time of year, so they're doing well. I mean, that Lolo Rosso, you know, last time I looked at it, it was only half that size, and probably, you know, a week's time I can take the first harvest of that, I would say, if it keeps growing like that. So this morning I've harvested some more radish, and if you can see, I've just planted some more out. It's been really quite difficult to get them to germinate because we've had such warm weather. I've just picked this first picking of spinach. Looks lovely, and there's plenty more to go at, as you can see. And these spring onions are doing really well, and again the Lolo Rosso, it's looking really healthy. Now, one thing that I've got real problems with, I think I said in my previous video that I'd sown coriander, lamb's lettuce and some more primo cabbage. These are primo cabbage just here. Left them outside the greenhouse and the birds have been into them. Well, I think it's mice. Can you see how they've been going in every one, pretty much eating the seeds? These are French beans, they've been into them as well. And I put a trap down. Well, I put two. I had a plastic one, and every time I put peanut butter on or something, it took the peanut butter, and the trap never fired, so I threw it away. I thought the mechanism was knackered, and I bought some of these traditional sort of little nipper type ones. And last night I put a little piece of cheese on like that, set it what I thought was really fine. Come out this morning, cheese gone, trap not set off. I couldn't believe it. So this is war. So yeah, I think what I'm going to have to do is sow all the seeds again and put them inside the house until they germinate. It's a real problem actually, something which it's thrown me back a couple of weeks for sure. Nothing much to report on in the greenhouse, just still picking the Hill 2 overwintering lettuce, and I think I've been soaking. What I do is when the plants dry out, I put water in this tray and then water them sort of like from the underneath. So these are basil, they're looking pretty good. I've got a cheeky curry squash there come through. The others are, sorry no, I tell a lie, that's not, it's a courgette. The cheeky curry are at the back, so nothing showing just yet. Tomatoes, crimson crush, they're looking okay. And those are the bell peppers, they're looking alright. So I'm just going to open the window now and let some air in, because we're almost at 30 degrees C. And then those have headed up. I think I'm going to be cutting those any day now. Now the other thing I wanted to discuss just briefly is this multi-grafted apple tree. You can see that, I pruned it back really hard because it was getting way too tall, difficult to manage. And but you can see there's still some blossom, and quite a lot of it is on the tip, so it must be a partial tip bearer, that particular variety. Whereas these here are, on spurs, so that's fine, that's not a problem. Anyway, where I cut this branch off here, because it had canker, but I saved some scionwood, which incidentally I just haven't got round to doing, so I'm going to let some of these growths grow, but there's too many, so you can see that's where the branch was cut, and there must be, oh gosh, I don't know, about 10 growths coming out of it, so it's way too many. So what I need to do is determine which ones to allow to grow on and which ones to remove. So if I stand back a minute, you'll see there's a door here, right, which opens like that. So if I allow some to come this way, obviously they're going to interfere with this door or they're going to get damaged. So I think anything coming out this way I'm going to remove. This one looks a nice healthy shoot just here, and it's sort of growing in that direction, away from the door, so that'll be alright. So I'll grow that on, and anything that's maybe coming this way I'll allow. So maybe just 2 or 3 at the most out of 10. All the others I'm just going to get a really sharp knife. You can do it with a Stanley knife, something like that, and just nip them off close. Just cut them off, and then that'll focus the energy on those 2 or 3, and then they should grow, at least 2.5, maybe even 3 foot this year, and I can get some scionwood off them next winter. And then if we look up into the canopy, where, if you can see, if you can try and zoom in a little bit, the ends of those big branches that are removed, can you see there's new growths coming out of those as well? Again, it's the same idea, there could be 6, and this is what happens. So if I don't remove some of those, I'm just going to end up with a whole bunch of new growths, and I'll be back into the same situation. So I might allow just 1 at the most and remove the others, and then these long whippy growths I left from last year, they should start to form fruit buds nearer the base, and again, so I can summer prune, and just the whole thing just needs managing, to keep the height down. And this kiwi vine just caught my attention. I don't know, in some earlier videos last year I pruned it really hard back. I kept pinching it out, and it worked, because other years it's come right out here and just smothered everything underneath, shade everything out. And you can see we've got fruit buds forming just here. So once they've set, once they've opened and got pollinated, I'm going to do the same again. All I did was, from the furthest fruit bud, I pinched the growing tip out about 2 or 3 leaves beyond the fruit bud. Alright guys, just to follow up then with regard to this tree I was talking about earlier. So you can see there's some of the growths that I've cut off. So now you can see where I've cut them off with the Stanley knife. You know, just sort of like that. So you can see that I've just left two nice shoots. So let's say there's one going sort of this way, and the other one is coming up that way. So hopefully, like I said, I'll leave them to grow on, and principally the aim is just to get signwood off them. So I removed about, there's my tissue, I think about 6 or 7, so there was nine shoots on that branch. And I don't know if you can make that, just down there is some of the ones from up above. So I've got on the ladders, just there, got into the tree here, and from there I can reach up to the top, and I've just left about 1 or 2 on each branch. A lot of the smaller buds you can just rub off with your fingers, only the thicker ones you need the Stanley knife to cut them off. I've resown all the seeds. This is the this is the 3rd time now, so I'm getting a bit sort of fed up with it. But Ferrari beans, dwarf French beans, coriander, lamb's lettuce, primo. So I'm going to leave them out during the day, and then at night I'm going to take them into the house. So I've left everything in the frame as it is. I've reset the trap with peanut butter this time, so we'll see what happens. I'll keep you posted on that. So guys, another little update, 27th of April, just been out this morning. If you don't like, excuse me, if you don't like to see dead mice, look away now. I caught it. Just had a look in the frame. So peanut butter did the trick. I mean, there may be more than one, I don't know, so I think what I'll do is dispose of that, and I'll probably reset it. So I'm going to keep taking my seeds inside of a night time. I'll reset it just in case there's more than one, but we've got an outcome.